Steve Young joins us. He's an entrepreneur, and he's part of a Kickstarter campaign. He's invented something that they're calling the Keurig for beer. Steve Young, welcome, Big 550 KTRS.
Yeah, thanks.
We need to talk to you right into the microphone.
Okay.
Are you from St. Louis?
From St. Louis.
And tell me about this system you've created.
Yeah, so basically, brewers only have one way of getting their beer into your home, and that's through rigid containers. So we invented the first ever flexible packaging that can hold beer. What that means is that any brewer can fill this and give you at the highest quality. So people with our system get access to any beer ever made fresh on their kitchen counter.
Okay. Now, they have those, like, pony kegs, right, where you
Correct.
tap and they last only a day or two, right, once they're tapped or something?
Pony kegs last longer, but what you're missing in the pony keg is variety. So you
Okay.
can only get the mainstream beers.
Gotcha. Then they have those draft things. What are those, like, little logs they got?
Yeah, those are run kind of by the larger mass breweries.
Right.
So you can only get, Heineken beer or Anheuser-Busch beer, and it's only limited to their top maybe 7 brands.
And you're saying that this system right here that you brought with us, can any beer out there, you can turn this into this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't actually. So one of the misconceptions is because it's being compared to the Keurig of beer, it doesn't actually brew the beer. All it does is kind of like the the draft mark systems or little mini pony kegs, is it dispenses already fresh and already, I guess, pre-made beer.
And
Okay.
how long does it last?
So if you filled, every one of our cartridges can be filled right from a tap. So think about walking into a bar or even a brewery. And Growlers are doing that right now. Growlers essentially are glass jugs, and you fill it right from the tap. Those last 2 days. Ours last 30 days plus, because you're filling this in an oxygen-deprived environment. You're not exposing it to some of the harsh environmental elements that take away the shelf life from it.
So I take this bag that fits inside the system, and I take it to my local favorite beer hall, and I say, you have this on tap, I want that on tap, fill my bag.
Yes.
And it comes with all of the accoutrements that you need to fill the bag.
Right. Yeah. So right now, going back to the rigid container conversation, and it'll kind of tie into this, is when you fill rigid containers, you need $50,000, $100,000 equipment to fill it properly to get you that shelf life.
Right.
Ours, you just need a $5 adapter, which we provide to all the breweries for free, and that gives you the shelf life needed. So essentially, yeah, you can go into any brewery or any beer that's sold on tap and fill these things. But a lot of the breweries that we're working with, Schlafly's on board, and we have breweries internationally that already signed up, but they're going to start pre-filling the beer into these cartridges. So essentially, you just walk in and say, "Hey, I'll take 2 of those." At the top.
So instead of buying a bottle of beer or a jug of beer,
Right.
I'll get one of these beer in a box things, more or
Right.
less, and I'll then bring it home, hook it up to my Synek Draft System, and I'll have fresh beer for a month.
That's right.
What is your background? And is it because of the love of beer that you came up with this?
Yeah. So
Yes, and yes.
Well, kind of have an interesting background. I never worked in a brewery. I never brewed my own beer before. And some people think, how the heck did you start a beer invention? My former job, I was a stock market analyst, and I was fascinated with the growth of the industry, the development of brands, and all the diversity that exists. And I started talking to brewers worldwide. And the more brewers I talked to, I just said, "Hey, what's one thing you struggle with?" And every single one of them across states, no matter the size of the brewery, they all said the same thing, which is, "Hey, we make great beer, but we can't get it into people's homes." And the main reason was packaging. And the only reason I bring up my background is because our team has tackled this in a way that nobody else has tackled it before. We don't know how things are supposed to be done or how things have always been done.
Right.
We're coming at it in a completely new angle, and that's why you're seeing such a disruption in the market right now.
How many beers does that bag hold?
So when we launched to market, for the people viewing online, you can see the bag, but this holds 1 gallon, 128 ounces, which is around 11 beers.
Okay.
And as we grow, we'll come out with different sizes.
Now, this is you've gone to market to raise money through Kickstarter. Why didn't you go a more traditional route? Did they just not even think of this as a viable option?
Yeah, everything we've done has been basically self-funded. We wanted to get to Kickstarter because, for those who know what Kickstarter is, it's a platform to where new ideas can get funded, and essentially people pre-order the product, and then we use that money to develop it and bring it to market. But we wanted to show demand right off the bat. We wanted to show investors like, hey, there is a huge market for this before we even approach them. And, just in the last 2 weeks, we've raised $500,000, and obviously it's shown that there is a huge demand.
How long have you been on Kickstarter?
We've been on Kickstarter 3 weeks.
And you've already raised $500,000?
Yeah.
More than $500,000.
More than half, yeah.
How much does this system cost?
So the first initial system, this will be $299. For some, that raises some eyebrows. Others, that's like a bargain relative to the current products out there. When you look at the first Keurig model was $900. So
right.
As we grow, we'll start to offer lower and lower prices to, open it up to a new market. We get a lot of questions on how much do the bags themselves cost. The bags are going to be extremely cheap, $1 to $2. The more we grow, the cheaper they'll.
Are the bags reusable?
The bags can be reused. We do not recommend that because you cannot see what's inside the bag to clean it properly.
Gotcha.
But yeah, for those folks that want to reuse it, obviously there'll be an opportunity.
So you plan to maybe do down the road, maybe perhaps larger ones or smaller ones?
Yeah, there's some states, laws are always an issue, but there's some states that right now, just in the code, that 64 ounces is the highest that you can sell directly out of the brewery, and so the next size we'll offer will be half a gallon or 64 ounces, which is the normal, growler glass jug
Gotcha.
limit.
Is this more than 64 ounces?
Yeah, this is 1 gallon.
Okay.
11 beers.
So if I go on Kickstarter and I go to the Synek Draft System, how do we find you on Kickstarter? Is that what we do?
Yeah, so you can go to Kickstarter, type in Synek, Synek, and ours will pop up.
And what's the website? You have a website?
Yeah, our website's syneksystem.com, Synek system.
Okay. And so I go on Kickstarter and I give you $300. Do I get a system?
Yes. Yeah, so it's kind of like, you think about the PBS type pledges where you pledge a certain amount and you
These are way better
Yeah.
gifts than PBS gives.
But with this, you basically pre-order the system, you get it at a discount for what we're going to offer it when it hits the market. You get more bags and a lot of cool perks. We're coming out with a new everybody gets a signed autographed book from an important guy.
So if I go to Filoni's and I bring my bag in and I say, hey, Alex, fill up my bag, which I've never really said that to a bartender before, but let's say I do, and they don't have that adapter, can I bring the adapter with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little finicky at first. Some brewers or some retailers will fill them. Some will say, what the heck is this? No.
Right.
The bottom line is once people realize the quality they can get and the profit they can make, everybody will be filling these 2 years from now.
All right. Syneksystem.com?
Yes.
And go to Kickstarter, Synek Draft System. When you're rich and big and famous, will you come back and throw us a bone?
Maybe.
There you go.
No, absolutely.
Steve Young, entrepreneur, Kickstarter campaign. Great story. KTRS St. Louis.